VRA, up and down all around, but mostly just down nowadays. You might be asking yourself, why am I holding this coin? Why do I believe in the fundamentals of this project so much? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about it. This is Matt from Anti Hedge, where we cover all things crypto. If you like this kind of content, you should definitely like, comment, subscribe, and stay up to date with all the information as it's coming out. It's not financial advice, and everything here is strictly for news and research purposes. So with that in mind, please enjoy the content of this video. Veracity. We've covered it many times on this channel, and today we're going to be recapping it just so we can remind you why we believe in it. To start, I wanted to mention its POV, Proof of View technology, and why this is going to be massive for the internet, as well as for everyone who actually could be holding this project. What is the value in POV? Well, POV is basically designed to weed out bots from advertisement. Meaning, like, let's say you see a YouTube video, it hits 1 million views. If 20% of those are fake views, just bots spamming it, then that's 20% of the ad revenue that's being stolen from the ad company. Meaning that because of all this fraud, people are paying more for advertisements than they should. VRA estimates that roughly about 15% of all advertisements on the internet are actually fraud, or rather being frauded by bots. And that's kind of a big deal, considering that, let's say you have $1 billion in marketing, let's just say $1 billion, 150 million of that is going to be a waste. It's not small numbers, that's big numbers. And now if you put that on a larger scale, let's say like a global perspective where advertisements could probably reach as high as $100 billion worth of advertisements, that's $150 billion wasted right there, just from that little chunk of 15%. Veracity stands to make that, as well as reduce the costs of the advertiser, meaning that it just makes the whole thing more efficient. And if the whole thing's more efficient, that leaves room for Veracity to take on market share annually. And then if more advertisement grows online, which it will, it's kind of inevitable as we move towards the metaverse and other online things, all those advertisements are just going to compound, and Veracity could be making that annually. The other incredible thing that this technology could do is now it's being tested on working for NFTs. And there's a lot of frauded NFTs out there where not just bots attacking minting of NFTs, but it's also people putting out fake NFTs, like fake Bored Ape Yacht Clubs, and trying to catch people to buy it for expensive. So it's like, if Veracity could sink all those fakes and make all the real ones rise to the top, at least you know you're going to cut out more internet crime. And that's going to make the internet a much better and safer place. The more interesting thing that I've thought about recently is this. Elon Musk mentioned, and there's a study mentioned now, that up to 80% or more of Twitter accounts are fake/bots. Wow. That's an astronomical number, considering how big Twitter is and how much traction it's gotten, how much actual fake publicity there is behind it. So imagine all the advertisements on that. Imagine Elon Musk having to buy that now, and now he's in court trying to settle that. It's 80% waste. How much other social medias are like that? I think that one of the next logical places for proof of view to be brought into would be something like social media. Now, obviously that's more speculation. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but I think that that's a very intelligent step for the company to take. Because if they're able to weed out the bots from social media will be able to be used again. Because now it's getting to a point where it's just cancerous. It doesn't even make sense anymore. With that in mind, proof of view now has 3 massive opportunities ahead of it. The other thing that's awesome about VRA Sports, which is a VRA syndicate, like a subsidiary within the company, is basically gaming tournaments, esports. Esports are huge. They're only getting bigger. I was a gamer growing up. If you would have told me 10 years ago when I was playing all these games that I could have been a professional video game player, I would have totally done it. My mom always said, you can't make money off video games. It's not worth it. 10 years later, the times have changed. And with these times changing, there's people that want to watch games being played. They want to see tournaments. They want to see competitive online gaming. And not only that, in this online atmosphere, this could become basically the new sports. The same idea that on Sunday people will go watch football could be a thing where they're just coming to watch competitions. That even opens up the gambling aspect because there's going to be people betting on that. So there's a lot of money in esports. So that's another revenue stream that VRA has under their belt. It's pretty impressive when you think about it. And then we're going to go a step deeper. The IAB, the Internet Advertisement Bureau. This is basically the organization that structures and allows for online advertisement. It's literally just for that. So there's a subsidiary or something similar for TV advertisements, and they're the ones for internet advertisements. And that's a pretty big deal to have Veracity as a partner with them, because if Veracity becomes the filter for internet advertisements, it's like those two become symbiotic, and that's more market cap. If Veracity becomes the first stop in the filtration process of these bots, that's pretty massive. It's definitely worth considering. So we're briefly going to gloss over the Veracity website and show you some of the little updates that we've seen so far. To start, we have the VRA wallet, which has been constantly updated and improved over time. Pretty awesome, and it's the place where you stake your Veracity. What's awesome about Veracity is it still has an 18.25 per annum reward for staking, which is pretty solid considering most savings accounts give you what, less than 1% right now. Veracity, you could make up to 18.25%, which is definitely one of the best rewards you'll get in crypto. If you go up on the roadmap, you go and see what they've been doing behind the scenes, which is pretty great. So we're actually in Q3 right now, ending Q3, heading into Q4 very shortly. And some of the things that they managed to actually finish off and get started was they got a VRA card partnership launch, so meaning that relatively soon there is going to be a Veracity card. Proof of View is also live with Bright Cove customers, meaning that larger entities, larger accounts that are on Bright Cove are able to start testing the patent. And relatively soon they're talking about launching it for all users. As you can see here, they've got the checkmark set for Veracity being approved by the IAB as a vendor, meaning that they've officially locked in the partnership, as I mentioned earlier. Now they're basically clearing off the rest of their roadmaps here. So now VRA Views is going to be available to all Bright Cove publishers, and if it's not, it's right on the cusp of being so, which is pretty awesome. And soon they're going to be doing a VRA wallet website revamp. Definitely more things to come for Q4. I'm very curious to see what Q3 is going to entail. Or rather, 2023 is going to entail, excuse me. Now we move a step forward onto Veracity's tokenomics. I'm going to say straight, we've had the tokenomics, they changed since our last videos, and that's one of the reasons why we wanted to recap it. It was very important for us to cover what's changed. And the first thing I had to mention was that the circulating supply got expanded. When we were doing videos, it was about 3.5 billion VRA tokens, which gave us our idea of what the price target would be. But now that's basically expanded about 3x. So now there's 10 billion tokens. And that's a pretty big jump, especially considering that they diluted the shares at the same time that the market went into a bear market. It's like a double whammy to the price effect. But that's also one of the reasons why I think that we're mostly bottomed out. At the time of this video, it's at about little under half a penny, which is a pretty solid entry point, in my opinion, considering that the all-time high was 7 cents. But we also got to factor in that the maximum circulating supply is 110 billion. So with that in mind, you got to understand that if you're buying this token at the floor, you're going to have to be ready to pull the trigger and sell some of it, considering the fact that they could dilute the supply at any minute. We're not ever really given a heads up on that. But if you understand that that's a possibility, then it changes how you're going to play this coin. And for me, the first important thing that I got to say is when you go into a coin with a higher supply like that, you got to play it by percentage. So have your price targets set in mind and your percentage gain set in mind so that you could sell and not be at a loss if the price drops. So for me, I'm looking at it at under half a penny and I'm thinking, okay, the first sell will be at about 4 cents, 4 to 5 cents. And the reason being is that that's about 10x. It's a healthy 1000% gain. Can't really ask for more. If you put $1,000 and it turns to 10, you're laughing. Leave it fly. Let it go. Let your moon bag go. Second target would be something at around 10 cents, because then you've broken the all-time high. And those are where my main two selling points would be, because I think that we could potentially hit those numbers relatively easily relative to the supply. After that, everything afterwards would be moon bag sells. So it's like I have an extra bag that's riding for free. Okay, I'll sell some at 20 or 25 cents. I'll sell a little bit at just under 50 cents. And if it hits $1, I'll sell another chunk. I don't necessarily think it's going to hit $1 right away. It could take some time. But even in terms of mathematics with what I just gave you in the first half of this video, compared to the tokenomics now, $1 doesn't even seem that unreasonable, but it might take a while to get there. And along the way, there will be ups, there will be downs, just kind of like we saw over the last year, 2 years in crypto. Play the cycles. You see it go up 1000%, sell some, because it'll probably drop and you'll have the opportunity to buy again for cheaper if you really want to. You could be accumulating more VRA and putting money in your pocket at the same time. Another thing too is you could even sell it for Bitcoin at a certain point, because there's Satoshi to VRA pairing, meaning that let's say you take some in USDT or in cash and then you take your other profits in Bitcoin. At the end of the day, you've stacked it away, and that's what you want to do. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this VRA video, this recap that you could have been waiting a little while for. Sorry for the wait. We're glad to finally deliver it to you. If you stayed this long and watched to the end of the video, we wanted to say we appreciate your viewership. You should definitely like, comment, subscribe. Don't be shy to let us know what you want to see in the comments. That's very important for us. We like being able to interact with our users. And even though we're not putting out as much videos recently, we're still here for you to give you the news you want. Take care.